What their previous coaches have done that, and they went on to, in the case of Stephen Keshi, win a trophy, for example. But Stephen Keshi and Sunday said they are two different personalities. He sees things with a different perspective. Likewise, Stephen Keshi. So for him to harp on the lack of these ingredients, then there are issues. Then you talk about unpaid wages, which became more pronounced after the Chan in Rwanda, and he said something not on Thursday now through another forum. He said that the players would not come out to speak because of they will be antagonized or recrimination or being thrown out of the national team. So these are concerns. These are as much as, yes, people could look at, oh, he lacks man management skills and all that stuff, but yes, that's an issue. That's one area. But the thing is that the issues he has raised, are they true or not? And which takes me to one other issue which needs to be clearly addressed from the NFF. Now we see that they say that they've paid him just this week before his resignation. But as at yesterday evening, he says that he has not been alerted by his bank.
As at yesterday evening?
Yeah. He has not been alerted by his bank.
Okay, something that comes to my mind from what you've just said is that we are averse to change. We are averse to improvement. A new coach comes on board, one would expect that he would come with his own modus. Nothing says that I should do things the same way that Keshi did before me. So I'm coming with my own ideas, and if you're not prepared to support me in achieving this our common goal, then we have an issue, haven't we?
Can I say something about that? You see, if you go to other climes, they have a coaches association, they have a players association, and these are strong bodies. Like whenever you cheat a player, the players association will question you. Whenever you cheat a coach, the coaches association will. But the authorities we have in this land, they've been able to truncate those associations. They are lame. Those associations they can't do anything.
Are they alive?
At all. That's what I'm trying to say. And you see that, if you ask me, this is a time after Olise had raised all the issues he raised. One, Olise is not the problem for football. We have had coaches in this country like Clemens Westerhoff. He ran away from US 94. We had Lars Lagerbäck. He ran away from 2010 World Cup finals in South Africa. He never came back to Nigeria to pick his bags. We had Tij Libret, a Dutch. He left his passport in Nigeria and Benin Republic.
Philippe Trouzier.
Yeah, we had Philippe Trouzier.
What was chasing them away, please?
Because of the kind of foundation we have in our football. Because of the administrations we have. And we sit here, we talk about Ulises, like he said, all the journalists are castigating him, saying all kinds of things. But what do you expect? These are journalists who have houses that were built by sports ministers, who have children in school, courtesy of the NFF officials. That these are people who now malign Olise because he's saying the right thing. But this is an opportunity.
Mr. Biako,
this is an opportunity for us.
No, let me just come in here.
Yeah.
We started from somewhere.
Yeah.
When you say the kind of foundation we have in our football,
exactly.
There used to be a time when we had homegrown teams,
exactly.
when the Christian Chukwus were playing football. At that time, football was like the in thing in Nigeria. The local teams were known names, Mighty Jets of Jos and all those kind of names. Rangers. And all.
Yes.
What went wrong?
Yeah, I remember vividly when I used to come from the southeast to, when I was in secondary school, to come and watch matches between Enugu Rangers and the IIC Shooting Stars at Ibadan, I remember stationary stores. When you come to the stadium, that Oniko Stadium, you have about 10,000 people clamoring for their favorite, which was a stationary stores. Those were days that people with passion were playing football. You had administrators who were out to prove points. But when money came into football, and when politicians, I keep saying this, when politicians are appointed to hold strategic places in football, that was when we started getting it wrong. when we started having people who don't have the interest of football at heart, that's when we started having all these problems. You remember that before Westerhoff was able to succeed in this country, it was because of a certain Augustus Akumo, who was the second in command to IBB, Ibrahim Babangida, who was the head of state. He went straight to the man. Westerhoff went straight to Akumo to go and get whatever he needed. But we don't have such men anymore in our football. We don't have such a men anymore in our government. So when you don't have men who have the passion of football like Akumo had, like Westerhoff have, you have this kind of problem you have on our hands. And you see, unless, I have said this so many times in different fora, unless you sit down, forget about the World Cup. A certain NFF chairman came and told Galadima, Ibrahim Galadima, when they were pestering him about the World Cup, because they go to the World Cup, they get a lot of dollars, they get a lot of incentives, and they were pushing him, why didn't you want us to qualify? He said, the World Cup is not a birthright. I misunderstood him that time, but now it is sinking in. The World Cup is not a birthright because we are not even supposed to go to the World Cup. If we go to the World Cup, after making all the money for development of football, where does it go? After making all the money in dollars, exposing our players, how do we get these things back to Nigeria and turn it around for our own good? After seeing the likes of Germany, Spain, Italy and all those, how do we learn from that? That's why Ibrahim Galadima told them, the World Cup is not a birthright. What you have to do is to come home and reorganize your football. Look at a way of bringing people, because these people travel to Europe every day, every week, every month, but they don't learn anything.
Okay, Talama.
That is the issue. So if you don't have people who have the passion for the game, you don't get results.
Talama, we have a problem now, haven't we?
Yes, we do.
We have a match next month. What are we going to do? We have new coaches coming on board, I think immediately they said.
Well,
so which is from today.
Yes.
We have new coaches for our team.
Yeah.
Do we have enough time to prepare for that match?
I think given the move from the NFF, to swiftly make that position occupied, commendable a commendable effort from them. Siasia, he's had a stint with the Super Eagles before. Amunike, with the age grade teams. So coming in, that experience on his own part will play in. And again, he played alongside Siasia as well as Aloyagu and Salisu Yusuf. So these are men who know each other. They can relate with one another. Then Aloyagu and Salisu Yusuf, based on their workings with Olise, it will actually come into good play, complementing each other towards how exactly they go about selection, the players that are needed to execute this match. I think there's still ample time to get the job done. It's a matter of it's more of psychology than what will happen than just the play on the field, because these men have to get into the heads of the players to ensure that regardless of what has happened on the background, because there's no denying the fact that individual players will have their own perspective and thoughts concerning what has transpired, but then they need to get into their heads to ensure that you're here to represent Nigeria. The issues off the field of play, as much as they are your concern, take them off for now. We need you to get
concentrate on the job at hand.
Let me put this question to you, since you talk about issues off the field of play. Siasia has been known to sometimes use his personal resources to ensure that the players stay focused. Is that the way to go? And has he gotten his monies back? It's so good that comes up, because when you have sections of the media who are actually saying what they have said concerning Olise, you look at Siasia, for instance, what happened at the under-23, even jerseys, that have also been was an issue at that tournament. It's not the way for us to go in our football. It's not the way to go. It's not the way to grow. And if you recall, quite recently, in recent times, the NFF signed a deal with Zenith Bank.